back. Welcome back to the show. Go to the NFL show. Uh, yeah, We're coming off of a
Sunday Night Football.
miserable, a miserable Sunday night football game between the Patriots and the Dolphins, and I had a lot of confidence going into this game this week. I now after witnessing the game, I realized it was irrational confidence. It was just a bunch of hope. It was hopium. Simple. We can't beat the Dolphins when they have Tua. And, this team pretty much loses the same way every single week. They dig themselves in a big hole. They make a fake comeback that comes up short for whatever reason, And then this week it was Mike Gesicki can't get a fucking inch, so he decides to pitch it back to Cole Strange, who looked like he got it, and I feel like in any other situation they would have said they didn't have enough to overturn it.
Yeah.
But what do you know? All of a sudden, they have enough evidence to overturn with like 20 guys in the way. But it is what it is. But what did you think about the game, man?
The game was pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of like zoning in and out, but I thought the Patriots could have won this game easily if they weren't shooting themselves in the foot. I felt like they kept getting turnovers. They got the pick. They didn't do anything with it. Tua fumbled the ball. They didn't do anything with it. They would get the ball in the Dolphins territory. They turn it over or what, just, I don't know. I just felt like they didn't capitalize on mistakes and opportunities they were given. But I don't know. I just feel like with the Patriots, they're just the most average team. Like they have a bunch of wide receiver twos and threes playing the one. They got a bunch of okay tight ends. They got a good running back, and then they got washed up Zeke. Like there's no juice on this offense. But I mean, you're more locked in with them than me. So like, you let me know if I'm wrong or you disagree with any of that.
No, everything you said was right. 100% right. And I was messaging you throughout the game, pretty much agreeing with everything you just said, which is, like there's no elite talent on this offense. There hasn't been in a very, very long time, pretty much ever since Gronkowski left. And I mean that's the problem. It seems like every other young quarterback in the league has some sort of elite talent that they could throw to. Whether it's
At least
Herbert,
two players. Like Tua
yeah,
has Reek and Waddle. Burrow
yeah,
has Chase and Higgins and Boyd.
exactly. And Herbert, he's got Mike Williams. They drafted Quentin Johnston. They
He
got
sucks,
Keenan
by the
Allen.
way. Quentin
They
Johnson sucks. Not Herbert.
well, let's just see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they still draft a guy in the first round that could be promising, right? So
Yeah.
it's like it seems every other team in the league has like a go-to guy except for the Patriots, and I don't understand like when Belichick's going to finally wake up and understand that it's not 2002 anymore, where you
gotta
can
have
win.
a star receiver. Yeah, you gotta have
Exactly.
star weapons.
You can't just win with your defense and run game anymore. That's just not how it works. You
That's
have
like
to
the
be able
most
to.
frustrating thing with like these old school, like perfect example, Sean Payton. He was trying to win with a bunch of wide receiver twos and threes when we had Mike, right? Like in Bree's later years, we had no opposite weapon. If Mike was
No, you're
double
right.
teamed, he was done. And we have undrafted guys like Lil Jordan Humphrey. I think he's on the Patriots. Lil Jordan Humphrey, Traquan Smith. Fuck, I'm trying to think. I'm blanking right now on like all these wide receivers that we didn't have. And
Yeah, I
then
mean,
as soon as Sean Payton leaves, freaking shout out Dennis Allen, man. He goes and he gets Jarvis Landry, who was washed, but like he's making the effort. He got Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry. We thought we had Mike, but you like in this league, you have to have star weapons now. You have to. It's like a must. It's not a icing on the cake anymore. It's a part of the cake. It's a main ingredient to a successful team. And I just feel like a lot of these old school coaches, they don't get it, or they're too stubborn in their ways, and that's a reason I think the Broncos are struggling is because they don't have a true star wide receiver. They have Russ, who's on the decline, and they have Jerry Jeudy, who you thought when he got drafted like 4 years ago or whatever, you thought he could be that, but he's just proven he's not. He's not that guy. Whether it's injuries or production, he's not that guy. Cortland Sutton is not that guy. But I'm going on a whole tangent, but yeah.
no, you're good. You're good. I'm saying, here's the thing. Even Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, I would take over anybody on this team.
Oh yeah, for sure.
100%. Like, so that shows you like guys who aren't even number one receivers, I would still take. And like when you brought up Drew Brees earlier, you know what I mean? Like he had Devery Henderson, he had Marcus Colston, he had Lance Moore, he had guys
Jimmy
like that,
Graham.
right? He's like the most accurate quarterback of all
He
time,
he
one of the
helped
greatest
elevate those
quarterbacks of all time.
receivers. Yeah,
That's what
just
I'm
like
saying. If
yeah,
if you have like we saw it with Mahomes last year, right? Obviously he had
yeah,
Kelsey, but outside of that, he had nothing else
yeah,
elite to throw to.
for
And
sure.
I think after Kelsey goes, Mahomes is still going to put up elite numbers because he's that great. Mac Jones is not okay,
Yeah,
and Mac Jones is a good quarterback. Okay, I
he's
think
very.
like I
I think
told
he's a
you,
very good quarterback. Just
yeah.
not in
I
a
just
good
don't think he's
situation.
one of those all-time level guys like a
Yeah,
Breeze, like a
like a
Brady,
Brady, like a
like a
Mahomes.
Mahomes that can elevate mid receivers, and that's
To
what this team is full of.
yeah,
So, I mean, it is what it is. We saw what it did for Tua's career. 2 years ago, everyone would have said Tua
is
is
out
a
the
good
league.
quarterback, and that's all
Yeah,
he is, right? But you see, he can elevate him. He can elevate his game. He
even
builds confidence, and he gets better because he feels so comfortable just being able to throw it up to one of these guys and letting them make a play. Mac
even
Jones has never had
Josh.
anything close. I mean, in college he had it, but no, not
Yeah,
in
oh
the
yeah.
NFL.
Like even Josh Allen, like no, like when they traded for Stephon Diggs, everyone thought Josh Allen was a bust. He was not.
Exactly.
He was not good. He was getting better. It was like year two.
Yeah.
You saw the improvements, but no one would have thought, oh yeah, he got Stephon Diggs MVP type of year, and that helped him because they gave him a weapon. It helped him. It gave him someone he can go to, someone he's comfortable with, someone he can trust. So hey, fuck it, there they are down the field, make a play. Like with 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 Mac Jones, you don't have that. And pretty much
No.
the only receiver I think would play on any other team is like Kendrick Bourne, and he'd be like a wide receiver 3, maybe a 2 on like but like he's like their wide receiver 1, I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. I believe, like, I think it's more than just Kendrick Bourne. I'm saying, I think, like, we saw Juju was successful last year. He's been successful in his career. Devontae Parker as well. The thing is, if that's all you have, that's the
Yeah, yeah.
problem. Those
They're
guys could
just
be
two
good complementary
pieces.
receivers
They
to
can't be
real number
main.
ones,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But if you don't have a real number one, it's just
Or
not
an
going to work.
elite
You're not
special
built.
quarterback, then
Yeah,
then you're
exactly. You got to
yeah.
have one of the two, and we don't have either. And this is the result. And uh, the biggest problem with this team, and it's gone ever since. Even I would say Brady's last year there, and even I would say the year that they won the Super Bowl.
Before, oh yeah, before
Even
it
the year
was
they won the Super Bowl, they have just been shooting themselves in the foot over and over with stupid penalties, stupid turnovers at the worst times, and it's just I don't know what to say. Like I can't say anything else, but it's coaching. It has to be. Like Belichick's the common denominator. He's the one that's been here long enough talking about do your job, do this, do that, but you're not getting your players in the right position to do that. And then the players that you do bring in, or the players that you believe in so much, suck. Like Miles Bryant, who's been on this team 4 years too long. Okay, like you put him 1-on-1 against Jalen Waddle. What else do you expect? He's got no fucking shot. Okay, it's not his
yeah.
fault. He sucks. He's not an NFL player. But for right, no, and I'm not even trying to make a joke out of it.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
being
yeah.
dead ass serious because it's the truth. Okay, he can't cover anybody, let alone one of the best receivers in the league. So it just I don't understand it. And one thing I'm gonna say next week against the New York Jets, if we lose to fucking Zach Wilson,
It's possible.
if we lose to Zach Wilson, Belichick's got to be on the hot seat.
I
He,
don't.
he does.
They're not gonna. They're not fire.
To me, he does. I'm sorry. Like we're
But
going on we're going on
y-
4 years of mediocrity, and no other coach. Listen, I understand Belichick, 6 rings, all that.
yeah,
Eventually, you gotta do something with what you got, and you're not. The thing is, you're the coach and you're the GM.
I
You
think
have
he
the.
needs to step down from GM, bro. I don't think they.
Oh, he's
I
not
don't.
doing that.
Oh
He's
yeah,
not doing.
but
He's a
he
package
need.
deal. If Belichick goes anywhere else, like let's say the Patriots fired him tomorrow, right? Any team in the league right now would line up and give him full control, just because of the you know what I mean the historic shit he's accomplished, right? It's a package deal with Belichick. He's gonna run personnel and he's gonna be the coach. Unfortunately,
I have a question
oh,
for you, since you're very passionate about this. Do you think? I think it's a very big possibility the Jets could beat you guys. But do you think that's a possibility, or you're just saying like, oh,
Oh,
if
it's
he
a
lose?
possibility. It's a
Because I think
possibility. Here's the thing.
last year the Patriots defense quite literally kept Zach Wilson kept them in the games because the Jets,
Yes.
the Patriots had no business winning like two of those games
The
until
thing is,
Zach
if
Wilson threw up all over himself and threw those picks, and then the other game, the was it the punt return
yeah,
for a
Marcus
touchdown?
Jones.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah, yeah. But those games were very. They could have went the Jets' way if they had confident
exactly.
quarterback play.
The thing is, if you're going to score around 17 points a week, anybody could beat you, right?
That's
They
yeah.
could easily fall into 17 points. They have a great defense. The Here's the thing: Zach Wilson sucks. Okay, like we saw today, he's awful,
He's
and
bad.
he's been awful against the Patriots. This is a game; it's a must-win next week. You can't start off 0-3. Okay,
Yeah.
so that next week is a get back type of game. It's a game that they need, but it's not going to prove anything to me because
Nah, yeah.
all this team does is beat up on bad quarterbacks. They live off of winning against bad quarterbacks. That's all. Ever since Brady left, that's all pretty much the Patriots have beaten is bad quarterbacks. So yeah, I got really nothing left to say about that.
Uh,
I'm a little
yeah.
upset
I
right
mean,
now.
we kind of just went off about the Patriots. I think we should. I'll touch on it. I think the Dolphins. I think they could be a serious Super Bowl threat, man. Like Tua
No,
is
I
like
agree with you.
Tua is just he's so good in this offense. He like aside from the two turnovers, which I mean, if it was a better team, it could have cost them more point. It could have changed the game because that pick was bad and then the fumble was just bad. But other than that, Tua played pretty much flawless. Look, I mean, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, they didn't even have huge games, but he's still giving it to guys like Baxton Berrios and just the run game. The run game looks really good. They
They got shredded by fucking
Most it
Raheem.
looked like it was 2019 again, and with the Niners. That's how good he looked.
That's what
But
I was about to
yeah,
say. We got fucking shredded by a guy who hasn't done a damn thing since the fucking Trump administration. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, I like Mostert as a player, but
I don't
it
think
was
he's.
way too
I
easy
think
for him tonight.
I think he's like a system running back, which is I hate saying stuff like that, but like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a hater. I don't. He's a good running back. He's not an ideal running back one, in my opinion.
I agree with that. And we made him look like one tonight. So,
Yeah.
that tells you all you need to know.
So what game do you want to go over next?
um, let's bring it back to Thursday night.
Okay, that was a All
Yeah.
right, this game, man. Let me. This game made me a Kirk fan, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Kirk was in there. He was lighting it, bro. They sold Kirk, man. I,
Yep.
that primetime game narrative. I feel like for the most part it's true, but I don't know. Thursday night, I thought Kirk came to play. He was lighting it up with Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson. They were just spreading the ball around, but the running Madison, he. I hate how people take football so serious where they're like threatening him, calling him racial slurs. Like that's so corny.
Yeah, that's
But
some bullshit.
but
Straight
but
up.
man, but yeah, he didn't play well, which is no excuse to do that. But yeah, I feel like Madison and the defense could not stop the run at all. I feel like Jalen Hurts kind of struggled passing it for the most part, other than like those bombs to what's his name
Devonta.
blank Devontae Smith. But yeah, the running game the Vikings what killed them was their run defense and just Madison fumbling and not just turnovers were bad. But I mean that was Thursday. I kind of don't really remember too much. If you want to add on to what I said,
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you for the most part. Yeah, the Vikings got absolutely shredded. I think DeAndre Swift had 175 yards
yeah,
rushing, which is by far his career high.
and a
And
lot
it's
of it
not
was
DeAndre
before
Swift.
contact.
Yeah, he was untouched for like the first 5 yards on most of his carries. So,
Yeah,
um, yeah, big night for him. And like you said before, big night for Kirk. The defense let him down. Uh,
definitely.
yeah, particularly the run defense. I thought the pass defense did pretty well. Jalen
Yeah.
Hurts pretty much
Are
didn't
you
have.
are you at all concerned with Jalen Hurts struggling like throwing the ball these first 2 weeks? I like if you look at the stat sheet, like his stats are fine from Thursday, but I felt like he was missing some throws and just kind of inaccurate with a couple of those balls.
He was. I'm not worried about it. they did switch to a new OC, so I think they're kind of getting,
Yeah,
these are kind of the growing pains, like the first 4 weeks of the season. I think the
especially
fact
with
that
a
they,
young quarterback.
yeah, the fact that they've played as bad as they have and they're still 2-0 is a good sign for them because I don't think
Yeah,
that's going to continue. This team's way too talented. I mean, AJ Brown, yeah, he was crying about his targets even though we're up 2 scores, like whatever,
yeah.
right? But he's great. Devontae's great. So Goddard's great.
Goddard's a good tight
So
end. Yeah,
yeah, so I think they're going to be just fine. I think defensively though, particularly in the secondary, and Bradbury was out for them.
yeah. But they lost.
They've looked a little vulnerable in the secondary. I'll give
Yeah,
them that. Like teams are because the Patriots passed on them a little easily last week as well. So that'd be my only concern, and not like it's small, but I feel like they'll clean it up, especially when they get
yeah,
Bradbury back.
yeah. And then I know they lost another member. I don't remember his name, but they lost
N-
someone in the game. Was it Maddox? I think.
I know N'Kobe Dean got hurt, but
I
the
don't even know.
linebacker.
Yeah, and then they also lost Chauncey Gardner to free agency. That's not ideal. So like the
Yeah,
secondary is a little concerning, but I mean, other than that, they're still 2-0. They still have all this talent on offense, and I think once they get healthy on defense, they should be fine. I don't think they're going to be the same dominant defense last year, just because they're facing much better competition too. And last year they were facing a lot of very poor quarterback play.
yep,
But
yeah,
yeah,
and a lot of things weren't really sustainable. Like they broke the sack record last year. They had
yeah,
four
yeah.
guys with double digit sacks. Like that's probably not going to happen again. Jalen Carter does look dominant though, so who
He looks
knows?
good. Yeah,
He
he
looks
looks
like
good.
the best. He already looks like one of the best interior guys in the
Yeah.
league through the first 2 weeks.
Hey,
So,
respect Brian Brzee, man. Saints legend.
oh, I forgot about him. How's he looking?
He he's been pretty good, man. Well, it was one game, but he looked good. He looked good in week one. He looked good in week one.
I like him. I like his story too. Like the shit with his.
Yeah,
I feel bad for him. Like what happened with his sister and all that. Like
yeah,
he has like a pretty. You root for the guy. That's
yeah,
all I'll say.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, like yeah, it's a big win for the Eagles, especially considering how they started.
And it's
Um,
not great for the Vikings because that division could be very winnable.
100%. Yeah, the Packers. Yeah,
But
we'll get
since
them
the
back.
division is struggling, it's not the worst to be 0-2 because I mean everyone's
Yeah.
1-1 right now except the Bears, who we'll get into, but they're not
Ugh.
looking
Gee.
great. Can't believe you picked them. Okay,
Oh
what
yeah,
game?
that's done. Um, yeah. So let's move on. Let's move on to the Ravens and the Bengals.
All
Your
right,
boys.
man.
Man.
I
Let's
was
get this one out the way.
man, I was locked in on this one. I gotta say, man, Burrow in that offense for the first quarter and a half, I thought they didn't really get too much time with the ball, but that is because I thought Lamar looked great this game. I feel like Lamar pretty much he carried their offense. They were without two starting linemen. I think their center and I want to say Ronnie Stanley. They were out Linderbaugh and Stanley, but they still look like I mean, you couldn't tell just because they were moving the ball pretty much at will. The run defense from Cincinnati was not great at all. Kind of dominated time of possession for like the first two quarters. I thought Burrow once it was like once it was the second quarter, it was like 8 minutes left. I thought he looked good, and then he threw that bad pick, and it cost them points. And I thought it was a
Yep.
winnable game for Cincinnati if they didn't turn over the ball in the red zone and if their defense could have got a stop, because towards the end it was a one score game, but they couldn't get a stop. Lamar was moving in the pocket, he was scrambling. Just goes to show why he's one of the best in the league right now, and he's playing probably like top three right now. Well, in this game he played really well, but yeah, I'm concerned for Cincy, man. That O line is still not looking the best. Although like they were getting some stuff going later in the game, but that's just because Burrow was getting the ball out quick. He was getting to the playmakers. I thought T. Higgins had a good game, but other than that, I mean, Chase was pretty quiet, and the run game was looking good, but then they got down a couple scores, and they kind of got away from it. But yeah, man, I'm kind of concerned for Cincinnati going forward, especially on defense. That secondary was getting cooked by Nelson Aguilar, man, and that's not ideal.
Can't have that.
Can't have that.
Yeah, I picked the Ravens to win this game, and
Yeah.
I thought coming out of it, it wouldn't be as bad for Cincinnati if they did lose because they do tend to start slow in the Joe Burrow era. It seems to be what they do.
Oh,
Um,
let me sorry to cut you off. And then
no, you're
also
good.
Burrow was hurt at the end of the game.
Yes, I was about
He's
to get into
hurt.
that.
He hurt his calf again, so it's not looking great. That's another reason I'm not too happy about that loss. But
Yes,
sorry, go ahead.
that's what I was about to
Yeah,
get into. So I think another reason why they started slow is Joe Burrow basically had no preseason. He was out, whatever, like the
training
first,
camp.
yeah, all of training, a good part of training camp, and now he re-aggravated it. So that is a little bit concerning. For the Bengals, like we might have to get to a point like, do you sit him like against one of the? I don't know what the Bengals play next week, but
They
they
play
got an
the
easy.
Rams, and that's no slouch
Yeah,
like we thought it'd be.
yeah. So it's tough. Like you got to kind of, I guess, try to manage it the best you can. Like obviously, if he feels good, then let him go, right? But
Yeah,
um, yeah. I mean, I had some concerns about their secondary. They were kind of proven right today. Um,
yeah,
I don't think the Ravens. I mean, I don't think the Bengals have anybody in that secondary, especially without Bates now.
yeah,
Um, that was a big loss for them.
yeah. Bigger loss
So
than I thought it'd be.
yeah, so I just think they just got to clean it up, man. Lou Anarumo, he's got to get in his
He's one
bag.
of the
Like,
best defensive coaches in the league, though. So I think
yeah,
if there's any like after 2 weeks, I think he'll clean it up. And I mean, next week versus the Rams don't have any killers on that offense. But Sean McVay is one of the best coaches in the league at scheming his guys open. So it'll be a good battle and it'll be a good test to see what Lou Anarumo could do, especially with those young players in that secondary.
I don't know, man. Might have got to disagree about no killers on that offense. Puka Nakua, man,
And
back to back weeks.
no, yeah. What I'm saying though is like no one coming into the season would have been like, oh yeah, him and Tutu
No,
Atwell, they're gonna
okay,
go
yeah,
off
no
with
one
Cup on, you know?
established. No one established. I'll give you
Yeah.
that. But
I'm
I
saying
don't know. He's
they
looking
don't
pretty good
have
out there.
they didn't have any household names. They don't have any household names other than Cup, but like you said, like Poop. What was his name?
Puka, Puka
Puka
Nakua.
Puka Nakua. He's been. I think he's the first rookie with like 2 games of 10 plus catches and 100 plus yards. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, I think he has the most catches through 2 games for a rookie in
Yeah, I think
NFL
he broke
history.
it. Yeah, I think he broke the
Yeah.
record.
So yeah, I mean we'll see what happens with that next week,
Yeah,
but
man. But Lamar, he was looking good today, man. He was looking good.
yeah, I hope the Ravens feel stupid for hesitating on paying Lamar for as long as they did. Like, come on,
Bro,
bro.
I saw this tweet that said the Falcons need to like what the hell is wrong with the Falcons? There's no reason Lamar shouldn't be on the Falcons right now. Because you know how there was the off-season trade rumors about Lamar wanted to go to like Atlanta or something?
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. But
Bro, I'm so happy that didn't happen as a Saints fan because we would be cooked, bro. With the Atlanta's weapons and Lamar, oh my God, we'd be so screwed.
yeah, yeah, you're low key lucky that didn't happen. But
Yeah,
um, yeah, Lamar,
Lamar's looking
he's
like
elite, man. Like, I'm
he's
sorry, one of my
special,
favorite
man. He's
players in the
special.
league. He's special. Like, let's stop doubting this man. He's doing a lot better in terms of protecting his body now. That's what I
Even
like. Not
even
running his
passing the
butt.
ball, he was making some nice throws today.
Yep, you look great. You look
I feel
great,
like he's
and
always been an underrated passer, but today he made some pretty nice like wow throw. He had like a 60-yard bomb, like 60 yards in the air. I was like, wow, that's a laser. But
yep.
yeah, not a great start, especially with those 2 division losses for the Bengals. So it's not great, not looking good.
All right, man. Let's move on to the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions. This
Hey
is
man,
a shootout. This is what kind of I expected it to be. This is what it's been these last couple of
yeah,
times
this
we played.
yeah.
It's been high scoring, and it delivered today.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really too like in tune with the game because I was watching the Bengals game and then I was on Red Zone. But I thought Gino looked pretty good. Goff looked good, like you said, it was a shootout. Uh, I think I think what helped the Seahawks win was the Goff pick six, which was like his first pick in like a lot. I don't know how many attempts, but he was like 20 away from the record. But
Yeah,
no, yeah, man, I thought it was a a nice, cool scoring game. High scoring game, which you thought the Chiefs Jags was gonna be, but this was the high scoring game.
Oh, we'll get into that game.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, this is a fun game. This is a really fun game. So yeah, high scoring, like you said. Golf looked great. Josh Reynolds, he's killing it.
yeah,
Like
he looked
he's
good,
just
man.
got he's got that chemistry with golf since his Rams days. So
LA days, yeah. I was gonna say he was on the
yeah, so
Rams, and I didn't even put that together that he was on the Rams with Goff.
he was doing his thing. On Raw, I think he had over 100 yards. And
Sneaky
David,
quiet.
yeah, and David Montgomery did get hurt. We don't know. I don't know the severity of it. But hopefully this allows them to get Jahmyr Gibbs more involved now,
Yeah,
because every single time he touches the ball, it seems like he makes a play with it, and I think that adds an explosive element that they don't have to their offense. But yeah, basically this game came down to who got the ball last, and it
yeah,
went to overtime, and the Seahawks got the ball, and
they won.
Gino drove him right down. I'm not a Gino guy, as you know.
Hey, shout out
Had him
Gino, man. He had
had him
that
on the
killer
fraud
instinct.
watch. I'm not sold yet. You know what I mean? He beat up on a bad defense,
Gino to
but
Tyler Lockett,
he did
though.
what he was supposed to do.
Yeah, yes, sir.
But yeah, man, he looked good today, so I got to give it up. But
Yeah, let's move on to
yeah,
Colton Texans.
Colts
This
Texans
game, this game was it wasn't really close, but also wasn't. I don't know, because Anthony Richardson he let him down twice with like two touchdowns, and then he got hurt, which sucks, man. Because he looks like he's gonna be a good player, man.
for
Like
real.
he was supposed to be a raw product coming out of college, which I mean I'm assuming he was. I don't really keep up with college like that, but so far in the league, he's looked pretty accurate. He's looked like a dominant run threat, and it probably could have gotten uglier if he was in the game. But then Gardner Minshew came in. Um, I
Gardner did
think
his thing
I think CJ Strauss. I think he's going to be pretty good, man. Give him some weapons. I mean, he played a good, clean game. I mean, they lost by 10, but he still wasn't like forcing and pressing the issue. Uh, I
Yep.
think I think. I mean, I had the Texans winning just because I like CJ Stroud more than Anthony Richardson. But I mean, I'm not probably going to be wrong on that one, but we'll see.
Yeah, man. Richardson, he looks great. If I'm a Colts fan, I feel great about it. The
Yeah,
only problem with him is, bro, you gotta stop taking these hits, man. That's 2 weeks
yeah,
in a row, and you've gone
yeah,
out of the game 2 weeks in a row. Like, it's just you got to protect yourself, man. But
yeah.
other than that, like he should be fine. He should be really good. He's got all the physical tools.
And
Um,
even the intangibles off the like that
leadership, yeah,
yeah,
leadership, yeah,
leadership.
all that. He's got all of it.
Yeah, he
Um,
whole package. And he's 21,
yeah,
man. They're both young guys. You'd love to see it for both these franchises with the quarterbacks.
yep. And with Stroud, yeah, I thought he played well, all things considering. Laramie Tunsil was out of this game, so he was kind of running for his life. Like, was it EJ Speed? EJ Speed was dominating them. Like, I think he had two
Yeah,
sacks. So that should tell you all you need to know. EJ Speed, like a replacement level guy, like coming in and dominating this O line. So it is what it is with that. But yeah, all things considering, I think Stroud played pretty well. They're gonna have their growing pains this year. Like I picked them to be one
yeah,
of the worst teams in the league for a reason. They're a
yeah,
super young team. But yeah, I think at least first 2 weeks in, I think both of these franchises should feel good about the guy that they picked.
yeah.
So yeah,
Bucks and Bears.
Bucks and Bear. Okay, yes. So let's just get this one out the way,
Yeah,
man.
you had
Because
the Bears win. I had the Bucks because I liked the roster more, and I thought Baker played pretty well week one. And I mean Baker to Mike Evans, man. Everyone was like, Mike's not gonna get his 1,000 this year, but I don't know. Baker and Mike Evans have a pretty good connection. Baker threw a couple dots to Mike, and I'm not a Mike Evans guy, I'm a Saints fan, but nah, Baker's looking good so far, and the Bears, man. Justin Fields, I just don't see any progress with him, man. Like I don't know. You were a big Justin Fields guy. Like what do you want to add?
yeah, like I said in the previous show, if the Bears lost this game, I'm not going to take them for the rest of the year, and so that's what it's going to be. Justin Fields looked awful. He had, I think, what do you have? Two picks. They were
Yeah,
awful, and he just has no awareness in the pocket. He just stands in there and he stands there like a
He
fucking
runs
statue.
and then
But
he runs
he's just
into
like
like
this.
sacks. Yeah,
He's just like this, just standing, and then he gets fucking blasted. It's like, bro, like you're one of the best athletes in the league. Like, move the fuck around, do something. Like, he's just, I don't know, man. Like, there's this one play I saw, like, DJ Moore was wide the fuck open. He didn't even look his way, man. He just stood in there and, like, ran up the middle and just got sacked. I don't know, man. I think my Justin Fields is good take is dead. Looks like Bears are going to be, in the running for Caleb Williams. So,
yeah.
I mean,
I thought,
and that could be a blessing in disguise for them, but it
yeah.
just sucks. It sucks
I do want to
for the
say
Justin
though,
Fields
like
fans like out there.
Justin
Like,
Fields had a really nice throw to Chase Claypool for a touchdown,
yep,
and you see the talent, but you just don't see it put together. Because, like you said, he just stands there in the pocket. So I saw this guy on TikTok was showing a play where Justin Fields had like 4 seconds to throw the ball, and things are developing, but he just stood there and then he ran into a sack. Like,
yep,
and I feel like a lot of O lines, like not a lot of O lines. I don't want to say a lot of O lines. Some O lines get bad reps because maybe they're not the best, but also the quarterback is a major factor in that too when it comes to giving up sacks. Because I mean, when Breeze was later in his career in like 18, 19, Saints had one of the best rated O lines, but it's also because Breeze would get the ball out so quick. And with
yep,
quarterback with the elite quarterbacks, with the like Hall of Fame level quarterbacks like Brady, they know the limits of their O line. So if their O line isn't the most talented, they're gonna get the ball out quick. They're not gonna put their O line in jeopardy. They're not putting themselves in jeopardy. And I feel like a lot of young quarterbacks, some of them struggle with that, and they don't know when to throw the ball away or get rid of the ball, and they just take sacks, and you know not looking great for Chicago.
yeah. I agree with you on the young quarterback point. We kind of saw with Deshaun Watson a little bit when he first came into.
Yeah,
He had a bad O line, but he ran into a lot of those sacks.
yeah,
Obviously Deshaun had a lot more success than what Fields is having. So,
yeah. He was a lot
but
better thrower.
yeah, that's what sets them apart. But yeah, just it looks the exact same. I was
Yeah,
hoping it's still early in the season, but
but
I don't know, man. I don't feel
but
good about
yeah,
it
the
at
whole
all
off
right now.
season,
I've
and
got
you
no
just don't
reason to
see
feel
any
good.
improvements. Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, to your Baker point, man, I thought Baker looked really good. 2 weeks in a row, Baker's looked really good. I don't know, man. He's tough. He stands in there. He makes all the throws he needs to make. Mike Evans looks rejuvenated. Like
yeah,
looks like he's on pace to get his 1,000 again.
yeah. Some
And
of those Mickey Mouse 1,000 yard seasons, I ain't gonna lie, but nah.
I mean, yeah, like
One
Brady
thousand
did.
one, like come on, man, get the fuck out of my face with
Well,
that.
yeah, Brady was especially like one of those years. Brady like made sure he got his
Oh
1,000. Like they
yeah,
just kept throwing it to him.
yeah.
Um,
Man.
but
Nah,
yeah, man,
yeah.
I don't think the Bucks are going to be great or anything. But it looks
I think
like Baker.
they're down to regress, but they've placed two bad defenses, so like it's good.
Yeah,
It's a good sign that they're beating these teams that they should beat.
yeah, I think Baker's good enough to be the guy at least this year, and
Oh yeah,
maybe
for
even
sure.
potentially next year if they don't fall into the right position to get the quarterback of the future.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so
Good bridge
yeah,
quarterback.
yeah, good bridge. Let's move into the most disappointing game of the week for me,
Yeah, I
and
really
that's
wasn't. Yeah, I really wasn't locked into this one just because even like I was watching, like I said, I was watching the Bengals game and then I was watching Red Zone, and even on Red Zone, like I didn't really see any of the Chiefs Jags game. It was like really low
no,
scoring.
didn't do anything.
I mean, I saw the Sky Moore touchdown with Mahomes being Mahomes, but that's pretty much it, man. I saw he had a pick, he had two touchdowns, he threw for a lot of yards, but just I don't know, didn't look like an exciting game. But I know you were excited for this one, so
I was
how did Trev
excited.
look?
I was expecting this to be a high scoring game. Kelsey, he looked a little bit rusty coming back. He's still, I
Yeah,
think, dealing with a little bit of the knee soreness or whatever. But
yeah,
yeah, Mahomes, you know, he did what he needed to do to win the
yeah,
game. Um, One thing I will say, yeah, their receivers they don't look good through the first 2 weeks.
yeah.
Like I'll
Okay,
just say that. Like they're not getting a lot of separation out there. It's not like the Jacksonville Jaguars have this elite defense or anything like
yeah,
that. So I kind of expected more from them. When it comes to Jags, I just don't know what that'll happen. Like the O line just got straight up beat down today. Chris Jones was
Chris
huge
Jones.
first game
I
back.
saw that he had like a couple pressures. Did he look good for his
He looked
first game
great.
back?
Yeah, he had a
Yeah,
sack, at least one
oh,
sack that I saw, and yeah, he was just in Lawrence's face all day.
that's good.
Yeah, they just
Good sign
they,
for the
they
Chiefs.
they got close a couple of times, but they just couldn't capitalize on finishing these drives. Like I thought there was a time maybe at the end of the game where it was about like 5 6 minutes left where I think they should have kicked the field goal, but they went for it on like 4th and 8 and didn't get it. So after that happened, they were pretty much done for. But yeah, I don't know. Not much to say about this game. It was pretty boring.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to. We both had the pack. Let's move on to Packers Falcons. Or we both had the Packers winning, and it looked like they were gonna win because Ritter looked awful, bro. But I
Desmond Ritter,
mean,
your worst nightmare. He's coming for the South.
that
I'm
guy's
telling you,
mid,
bro.
bro. He's fucking mid. I swear. I'm not scared of no quarterback named Desmond. I'm sorry, but
Come on, bro. That's messed up.
Jordan Jordan Love looked pretty good. He had another 3 touchdowns, but I mean, I feel like they missed Aaron Jones a lot today. Because
Yep.
AJ Dillon's he's a serviceable back, but he's not a if he's your running back one, you're kind of in trouble.
Yeah,
Um,
I think what makes the Packers running game what's made it so good the last couple of years is the kind of thunder and lightning between Dillon and Jones. And so yeah,
yeah,
they lost that element. Yeah, like you said, Ritter had not Ritter,
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. Yeah, he had 3 touchdowns. He didn't throw for a lot of yards though. Like I think he had
Yeah,
under 200 yards. But yeah, he looked good for the most part. Packers fans should feel good about him. Ritter, he was great. He was unbelievable. No, I'm just kidding. No,
that's
but
that's
no,
like
but
that's like get the fuck
no,
out of my face, bro. Oh man, you
no, but
troll.
Bijan Robinson, yeah, he's a really
uh,
good. You got to at least admit that, right?
yeah, damn, you're such a troll.
What about
Yeah,
Bijan
Bijan
Robinson?
No, yeah. I like their weapons, man. I just don't like. Like I said, if they had an elite quarterback, like if they had Lamar, I'd be scared. But they don't have that, and they're just okay with Desmond Ritter because their coach says, "Oh yeah, he's good enough to win us games," and it's like, yeah, I guess, but you could elevate so much further with the right quarterback.
Yeah, but they had no option. Here's the thing about the whole Lamar to the Falcons thing. I think the Ravens were going to match any deal for Lamar. They allowed they didn't want to pay Lamar a fully guaranteed Deshaun Watson deal. That was the biggest
Mm,
issue.
yeah.
So they're basically like, yeah, go get a deal, and then whatever you get offered, we're just going to match it.
See, all
And,
right, but
you
my
know,
counter to that is if all right, say the Falcons offered, whatever, however much, because I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. He could have. Don't you think he could have got more, like than what he got with the Ravens? Granted, he got a lot, but I'm just saying, like,
I think all the
unless they
teams
didn't
that
offer, I don't think maybe they didn't offer as much as he was looking for, probably.
yeah, we still don't know exactly what they offered. The thing is, everybody in the NFL knew that if you make an offer, it's going to get matched. So a
Yeah,
bunch of teams just didn't even bother. You know, I wanted the Patriots to go after Lamar,
man,
but it
I
was
wanted
like,
the Saints. Oof. Hey,
yeah,
we
the
got
whole
Derek Carr though. Carr, baby.
yeah, baby, yeah. Nah, but any team that doesn't have an elite quarterback should have been after Lamar last year. You know,
Yeah,
and but the Ravens had no intention of ever letting him go, even though it kind of seemed like it at one point. They
yeah,
never did. They just didn't want to meet his number, and then they eventually settled on something that made everybody happy. But yeah, I mean, Ritter, this is what they got. They drafted him like what in the second round. So I mean,
yeah,
they're gonna run with them at least for this year,
yeah,
and then I mean, they're giving him a shot. So
yeah.
I can't blame for that. And the offense does look fun, even though Kyle Pitts can't
Not
get
good.
involved in the offense. And I know you're going to be a hater and act like he's not that good,
I'm
but
not
I'm
saying he's
saying
not good. I'm just saying he's not producing. But it's not. I know it's not his fault.
we
It's
know
Ritter.
why
He
though. I'm
sucks.
saying
Yeah,
it's
he
not his
fucking
fault.
sucks.
It's the coaching staff. It's not the I don't know. Some offenses just don't use tight ends like that. Like that's really what it is. If he went to Dallas or to like any team that actually uses tight ends, he'd go for 1,000 every
Hey,
year.
Cincinnati, give him a call, baby.
Oh, now he's good, huh?
No,
Now he's good.
I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying he's not producing. That's all I've been saying, man.
He's gonna break the tight end receiving record with Burrow if he ever went there.
Joe
So
Burr. All right.
I mean, not the way he's looked the first couple of weeks. I don't know if you've seen that.
He looked good. He looked good week 2. He looked good. He looked
I,
better. He looked better.
I don't know if you saw that. That it was like this thing on Twitter going around. It was like Joe Burrow after getting paid, and it was like a picture of Andy Dalton.
Oh, that's crazy, man.
He
Oh,
got
the
paid and packed it in.
disrespect.
Now he's a mid quarterback.
Nah, bro, he's hurt. He's hurt. Hey, week 1. I don't even count week 1, bro. He was fine week 2. He was fine week
Is
2.
Joe Burrow on fraud watch?
Nah. If he has another, I don't even want to say if he has a stinker because he has a hurt calf right now, so it's not fair to evaluate.
Oh, sounds like an excuse. I
Hey
don't
man,
know,
Joe
man.
Burrow's my guy,
Might
man.
be a
Hey,
fraud.
nah, you like Mac Jones, bro, buddy. Settle down.
Not more than Burrow. But no one's acting like Mac Jones is this guy. Everyone acting like Burrow is. That's what makes him a fraud,
Honestly,
in my opinion.
if you were to rank the quarterbacks just off the first 2 weeks, it'd probably be like 2 or 1.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Just
just based off the first week alone, like
nah, yeah, he
it's
was.
better than anybody else has played.
Hey, nah, Sam Howell. Oh yeah, that's my guy, Sam Howell. Sam
Oh, we'll
Howell,
get into
baby.
that. You know,
Yeah,
your
I can't wait to get
hatred,
into that. Oh yeah,
your
okay.
hatred
Let's
of
get into this Raiders Bills game.
yeah, man.
Coming out, the Raiders look good the first drive. They went right down
Yeah,
the
they went right down
field
the
and
field,
scored. And I was like,
and that was
holy
it.
shit. I was like, bro, are the Bills gonna get upset? And then,
Yeah, it felt
Josh
like it for a
Allen,
second.
Josh Allen does what he does. He had 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, which you love to see. Pretty much
Yep.
Bills dominated the game. They made Jimmy G beat them, and he threw a couple picks. He didn't look great. Kind of exposed the Jimmy G wins people because he looked very mid. Um,
Yeah, that's what he is.
nah, this is what you need. This is what you need for if you're the Bills. You needed a nice win. You need Josh Allen. You don't need him to be Superman, but you just need him to play a good, clean game, no turnovers. And he did try to fucking hurdle people in the goal line, which I was
Yeah,
like,
I
dude,
saw that.
be smart. But I thought, other than that, I thought the Bills pretty much dominated, did what they needed to do. You know, Bills D line dominated the Raiders. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to add, really.
Yeah, like you said, not a lot to say about this game. Josh Allen did what he needed to do. I'd said this was a must win, and they came and they saw and they
Handle
conquered.
business. Yeah, they handle
And
business.
and Jimmy G, yeah, he's mid. Like
He's been
like
mid
I
though.
get
We
it,
we've been
I
in
get
that
it,
though. Yeah,
get it.
we've
He's good
been
looking. You know what I mean? Like
handsome
everyone makes
guy,
a big
but
deal about it, right?
yeah,
But yeah, he's mid. He throws picks. He throws really bad picks, like we saw today. And yeah, I mean the Raiders aren't going to be that good to me. They beat Mr. Let's Ride last week, but we saw Mr.
yeah, we
Let's
saw
Ride
that. That guy's a fraud. But
lost
okay,
to
we'll
Sam.
get that'll be the last game we get into. We'll save that for last.
What you want to talk about? Titans Chargers.
Man,
I actually had a wager on this game because I needed Nick Folk to hit 2 field goals, so I was pretty excited with the game
this
winning.
guy, uh, man. Hey, Tannehill looked better. You know why? Because he wasn't facing the Saints defense, baby.
Oh
That's
yeah,
why.
that's why.
That's
The
why.
Chargers defense sucks.
Yeah,
It's awful.
they're not great. And then the Chargers could not, but the Titans defense is legit because the Chargers run game did not look good at all.
No, it didn't. I mean, Eckler was out, so you got
Yeah,
to remember
that's
that.
true. Yeah, that's
That
true.
was a
That's true.
huge part of it. Yeah, man. I just
But
think,
even then, Eckler's not a downhill running back. He's more of a pass catcher. He could run the ball though, but
but
yeah, I
still,
get you. Yeah, no,
Eckler is dominant some games. We saw it just last week,
yeah,
what
yeah,
he's able to do, even as a normal running back. So just having, I think it was Joshua Kelly, like, yeah, good luck
yeah,
with that. But yeah, Tannehill, yeah, he looked much better this week. He hit Traylon Burks on like a 70-yard.
yeah. That was a nice
That
pass.
was a dot. That was probably the best throw of his career. Not many of those for him. But yeah, I mean, the Titans, like, they kind of look like they're going to be middling around 6, 7
Nine and
wins.
8.
Um,
You don't think 9 and
no.
8 is a possibility?
Well, in that
I
division,
mean,
it is.
I'm just
In
saying,
that
like the
division,
Jaguars don't look like world beaters, man. Like, it's possible they were in the division race until Tannehill got hurt last year, and even
that
then they
is
were in.
true.
And Mike Vrabel, man, he's one of the best coaches in the league, man. And hey, you know who's a fraud?
Ooh.
You know who's a fraud, bro. Coach Staley on the Chargers, he's out of there, bro.
No, but he's not. A fraud is someone that everyone thought was good. No
A
one.
lot of a
This
lot of
guy's
people
never
thought
been
he'd be
good.
good. Yeah, well,
Everyone thinks a coach is good their first year. He's been bad
2 years
pretty
of
much
that.
immediately. Yeah, the fact that he didn't get fired after last season is insane to me, and now we're seeing this shit
Yeah,
show. I'm already picking it right now. He's going to be the first coach to get fired this season. I don't think he's going to make it past week 8 because I don't have the Chargers going to the playoffs this year.
yeah.
Especially
I
after
thought
starting off 0-2.
Herbert looked good though, man.
Oh yeah, Herbert's great. The only thing
Herbert's
holding back is his coach.
Yeah,
I'm saying if they get a real coach in there, Herbert's going to be an MVP candidate every single
yeah.
year. Like,
He's
some of the
one of
throws he
he's
makes,
top three talented quarterbacks and top three, top four minimum, man.
easily, easily. This guy's got
Man,
a rocket for an
he can
arm.
make all the throws. He's big. He's tall. He's fast enough. Man, it sucks, man, because I love watching Justin Herbert play, and it just sucks because we're not watching him in the playoffs this year, probably just because of that team, that coaching.
Yeah. One silver lining though, J.C. Jackson's going to be back on the Patriots next year because
He's getting cut or what?
he's probably he's going to get cut. There's no way he's not. Like he's been awful.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
last year he had bad luck with injury, and then he's not looking great so far.
and it's not like the Titans got that much to throw to. I mean, like what
Yeah.
Nick Westbrook, Akine, and like
Hopkins and
Chris
yeah,
Moore, DeAndre Hopkins washed up. Like I'm not worried about
yeah,
him.
yeah.
But yeah, like they don't really got much to throw to, and they're just getting shredded on a weekly basis. So it is what it is with that. I'm glad I got my money. So thank you, Nick Folk. But yeah, Chargers 0-2, man. It's not good, and
Not
go
great.
0-3 next week. It's gonna get ugly.
Who do they play next week? Do you know?
It's a good question. Let me check real quick. They got the Vikings in Minnesota.
Oh, that's a winnable game, but both these
It's
teams.
winnable,
Damn, this is a
but
very
it's a
interesting.
must win for both teams. That's the
That's a very
thing.
interesting game. Yeah, because I mean, no, it's a win. It's must win for both teams, but especially for the Chargers because in that AFC division, you know, that Niners Rams.
Yeah, man.
This was a
I
pretty fun
texted you.
game.
It was fun. I texted you earlier. I gotta say I was wrong about the Rams, man. They look
I think
good.
everyone was.
Like I expected them just to be as bad as they were last year, but I guess I didn't take into account like Stafford looks fully healthy again, and Puka Nacua is the best receiver in the league. I don't know if you
Yes.
noticed, um,
Puka
but
Nacua guy, huh?
yeah. I mean he's basically just like another Cooper Cub. Like that's pretty much what he looks like out there. But
Cooper Cup is
yeah,
a Sean McVay merchant, bro.
uh, hey man, I don't know. We never seen him on another team, so you can't really
Uh,
tell unless he went somewhere else and didn't produce, right? But yeah, I mean,
I
you could
think I
tell
think
Sean McVay, he's
he's
still one of the best.
rejuvenated. Yeah, he's rejuvenated. I think the talent gap though it cost them in the end just because the Niners
Yep,
were so much more better. Christian
exactly.
McCaffrey looks like he's the best running back in the league again, as long as he's healthy, man.
Yep, knock on wood. Knock on
Yeah,
wood, he stays healthy. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, and Brock, I got to give it to him again, man. Like he's just accurate, man. Like
He did
he's,
miss some throws though. He missed a couple Jimmy G esque throws. He
yeah,
missed
yeah. That one, it was like over the shoulder. Like
to like
I forget,
he missed
I
one
forget
to
who.
Ayuk, and then he missed another one too. He
Yeah,
missed like two bad throws, but other than that, he was pretty good, man. Brock's a good quarterback.
he's super accurate. That's what I like about him. But yeah, like you see the difference between like we talked about with the Rams, right? Not that much talent. The Chargers got a ton of talent, but the Rams are in a game with a team that a lot of people think they shouldn't have been in a game with because of the coaching that they have.
You mean the
So
Niners Rams?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, but
Yeah.
I was bringing up the
Oh,
Chargers as
Chargers. How? Yeah, they have all the
of having
talent,
a
but they don't
bad
have the
coach,
coach.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Got you.
yeah. So yeah, man.
Nah, yeah, man.
The Rams, I think, are going to be a playoff team. I do.
Sneaky
Like they,
playoff team.
it seems like they're going to play everybody tough this year, and yeah, they're
Bengals
going to
are
have
an
the
upset
coaching
alert
advantage
next
most of
year,
these
next week,
games.
man.
Who is?
Bengals, Bengals Rams. That should be fun. Should be
Hey,
interesting.
man. Like I said, that's a must win.
If
That's a
if
must win.
yeah, no, if Burrow's out, then I got the Rams winning that. Honestly.
Oh yeah, Burrow's out. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams, but
Nah, yeah.
we're not gonna spoil our picks. But
Yeah, but
yeah,
now Stafford looks good. Looks like Sean McVay's, having fun out there again, kicking field goals when
Mhm.
the game's over. Which you see all the memes about that. Like someone needs to investigate Sean McVay if he has a bet.
To cover the spread.
Yeah, cover the spread.
I
Oh
like
man,
that. I like
that
that
was
though.
funny. No, yeah, it was a closer game than I thought though. I thought the Niners were just gonna roll over, but it was a pretty close game until it wasn't. But it was a ten
Yep.
point game even
Yep.
then.
Let's move on to let's move
Biggest
on to
fraud
the
watch. They beat the fraud allegations. The
yes,
New York Football Giants, man.
yes,
My
Giants
goodness,
Cardinals. This game start off as bad as
bad,
it
as
possibly
bad as it
could for the
could.
New York
Yeah,
Giants. So first half they were down 20-0. So they went literally the first 6 quarters of this season getting outscored 60 to
60-0.
nothing.
Crazy.
But then they just come out in the second half and Daniel Jones just looks like a whole new player. He
Nah,
looks
Daniel
elite
Jones, he
in the
did
second
his shit,
half.
man. He did his shit. He
Just
was
running
spreading the
all over the
ball.
place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was making some dimes, man. Daniel Jones, I told you, man. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarter. He was making some big boy throws. He was. I like how they didn't give up, because they could have easily down 20-0. You could easily like,
true.
this is, but I think I don't know, man. The thing with that though is like, is it just because it's the Cardinals and aren't they supposed to be tanking, or is it
Hmm.
both, or it's. But no, a win's a win in this league, and you're happy to take those, especially when you're down 20-0, 21-0, whatever it was.
Yep.
Um, I was like, damn, Joshua Dobbs he's looking fake nice, man. And then second half happened,
Yeah,
and
he
you
came
know how
back
that
down to
went.
earth.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you said. Like it's not a good sign that they went down 20-0 to the Cardinals at all. Based off the rest of what their schedule is going to be. But yeah, showed a lot of balls, a lot of grit to come back, and I expect nothing less from a Brian Dable led team. I think he's a
yeah,
really good coach, and I think these guys play hard for him. So
oh
we saw
yeah.
that in the second half.
Because they
Um,
even had they had a pick that earlier I think it was a pick that got called back, or it was something that got called back, and it was like when it was 14-0 or 17-0, and the Giants were still fighting, and then granted it went back to the Cardinals and they went back down and scored, but you just see like they weren't giving up even early in the game, even though they were down early, they were still trying to make plays, and they just kept playing that way the whole game, and that's how you come back from big deficits. You just take every play at a time. And Brian Dable is one of the best coaches when it comes to like having his players play for him.
yep, and yeah, the Cardinals needed this win, man. Because now they're 0-2.
1-7, not one. 0-17 is on the radar, my
0 and
friend.
17 is on the table. Like this is the
All
game
right,
that they needed to
but let me
potentially
let me
avoid that.
let me ask you this though, because they were at both these games. Like, do you think it's just that they're tanking? Because like they could have easily snuck one or two of these or both of these games. Like,
They're not tanking yet. Once we get late season and they're something like 1-11 or 2-10,
oh
then
yeah,
that's when the
then
tank's really going to begin.
I
And
I
guys are going to get
definitely
hurt, right? Guys are going
yeah.
to come down with injuries.
I definitely
Josh
thought
Dobbs is
this would
probably
be
going to
the
get
one
pulled.
win they get. I definitely thought if they were to go like 1-16, I was like, yeah, they're beating the Giants. I thought this was gonna be the game.
Yeah, this felt like it. Like the fact that
No, but the
it's pretty
Giants,
tough to lose a game that you're up 20-0 in.
yeah, but the
So
Giants
they found a way.
came back hard, man, came back hard.
I'll give it to them. They're off the fraud watch for at least this week.
I don't think they're
So
frauds just because I think we know they're not good anymore.
yeah, all right. Well, we'll see if I'm just going off what society thinks, right? I like obviously I never believed in them, but I know a lot of people
Yeah.
do. So that's pretty much what I'm basing this off of. But yeah, man, let's move on to the Jets and the Cowboys. And yeah, man, this game went pretty much how I expected it to.
It went completely the opposite of what I thought. And like
Yeah,
I,
it's
I
just
knew I knew I had the Cowboys winning. I didn't have the Jets winning just because Cowboys have the better quarterback and pretty much better roster. Even though the Jets roster is really good too, but I mean the quarterback outweighs the anything. And I thought the Jets got away from the run game. And like I said, if I
yep,
said the
they
Jets
did.
can make it a close game if they run the ball and get turnovers. They didn't run the ball. Brees Hall had like 4 carries. You
Yeah,
can't
and he was
beat the
crying. He was
Cowboys.
crying about it on Twitter afterwards too.
I mean, do you blame him? Like, you get 4 carries
I
and you get beat by
understand.
20, bro. Like, come on now.
I understand.
You
Just going to Twitter is kind of lame. That's just my personal opinion about it. But yeah, go ahead.
nah, but uh, Zach Wilson, they made him throw the ball, and when that O line was getting killed, and Zach Wilson is Zach Wilson, that's just combination for disaster. 3 picks, yeah. The game it was close for a little bit, like it was 10 to what was it 18 or whatever or 17, and then it was just downhill from there. Once they got away from the run and were trying to beat them with Zach Wilson throwing the ball, it was it went exactly how you would picture it.
Yeah, exactly. Zach Wilson, he was pretty much running for his life the entire game, like I expected. This Jets O line is not good at all. I have a hard time believing that even with Rodgers, the offense would have looked good these first couple of weeks, just because of how bad the O line is. But yeah, Zach Wilson, he did have the one slant, you know what I mean, to Garrett
Garrett
Wilson, who looks
Wilson,
like he's taken a step to
star.
be one
Yeah,
of the best receivers in the league. But yeah, I mean, Zach Wilson, what do you have? 3 interceptions, and yeah, man, he's horrible. Like, there's not much
yeah.
to say about it. He's not good, and if I'm the Jets, I'm rolling with him right now at least. But if we get towards trade deadline season, and I think me and you talked about this on the last show, if Matthew Stafford or Kirk Cousins is on the block, I think they got to make that move, man, because
Yeah,
this team is too
it's too
good
good to
front
go out.
wise to just waste this season with a horrible quarterback.
Yeah,
And so I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Like it, especially if the Vikings start 0-3 next week, we're really gonna start hearing about it. I think, but yeah, Zach Wilson did the opposite of what he needed to do. All
yeah.
he's got to do is play mistake-free football at the very least, but he just can't seem to do that.
But the thing too is like the coaching put him in that position. Like once they got down, you got to stick to the run. Like we're shitting on coaches that just want to win by run game and defense. But when Zach Wilson's your quarterback, you got to stick to the run, and you gotta do what won you games last year because they were 5-2 last year with the same quarterback play. Even like Joe Flacco and Mike White, I think.
Mike White, yep,
But
yeah. I mean,
they once the
yeah,
game got away
they
from
did get
them,
away from the run. They
yeah,
did. Um, but
they
yeah, I mean that's kind of what happens when you go down by so many points. Like you're
yeah,
trying to get the scores back quickly, and you don't. Eventually, you got to take the training wheels off. Like, bro, you're in year 3. Like, you should
yeah.
be able to at least do something at this point. So I think they kind of tried to let him do that, but they found out real quick that it's just not going to happen with
Yeah.
him. Like they're probably going to have to run with the training wheels all year, and Brees Hall, listen, bro. I know you're upset today. You're going to be getting plenty of carries next week. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah,
He's gonna get 40 carries next week.
oh yeah, Zach Wilson. Like they're going to pull like the Jimmy
Oh
G
shit.
NFC Championship against the Packers, where he
That was
throws the ball
fucking
like 9
crazy,
times.
bro. That was one of the I can't believe. And Niner fans would be like, "Yeah, Jimmy G won the Super Bowl. He won, bro. He
Yeah,
fucking threw the
okay,
ball
buddy.
4 times, bro. Get out of my face."
Yeah,
Ah, I hated
so
that shit. Okay,
yeah, it's an L for the Jets as usual.
all right, let's
But
move
let's
on to my favorite game so far this week. The freaking fraud Denver Broncos blowing, or was it 21-3 or 21-0 lead? I don't know.
21-3. Yeah,
Shout out Sean Payton for trading the house, not trading the house, for making us trade him. Shout out Denver for giving us that first round pick. Shout out to Sean Payton for taking all these leftover Saints, all these mid players, thinking he's gonna win with Russell Wilson when he could have stayed home, man. Coach Derek Carr, no Olave, but you want to leave. Grass isn't always greener, my friend. Uh, I thought Russell Wilson looked good for like the first 2 drives, which I thought he looked good the first couple of drives last week against the Raiders, and then once the game went on, nothing. He was missing throws. He looked bad. Um, I felt like once the plays weren't scripted how they were supposed to be, you know how coaches have like the first drive scripted and they go
yeah,
down. I feel
exactly.
like once the Broncos were out of that, they cannot move the ball and they cannot score. And I think it's just, I think Russ might be cooked, man. He looked good, and then until he didn't. And Sam Howell, my fucking guy, Sam Howell, bro. Shout out Sam Howell. He was lighting the Denver Broncos, bro. That pass to Terry McLaurin in double coverage. My goodness, what a throw and catch. Um, Broncos got a little bit of a lucky Hail Mary. It was a very lucky Hail Mary.
Oh
And then
yeah,
they kind of got screwed at the end. I'm not gonna lie, but I think that's
yeah.
just
That
because
should
of
have been a pass
the
interference.
league hates Sean Payton, bro. I don't know. I thought it was a Saints thing. I think it might just be a Sean Payton thing. But yeah, Commanders D line was dominating the Broncos O line. Michael Glinchey was a terrible signing. He's not good.
Oh,
He was
that's yeah. That's like an
overrated.
awful signing. The
Chase
first two
Young
games.
looked pretty good, man. For his first
Yep.
game back, he looked good. And then they have all this depth on the D line with Payne and Allen and Sweat, and their front seven's pretty good. Secondary is questionable, but I thought the Commanders, Eric Bieniemy's offense looks good, man.
Yeah, I'll give it to him. Yeah, it was kind of sad for me as a Russ fan to see the game play out this way. But yeah, he started off as good as he could possibly start. He was like 5 of 6 for 147 and two
It was
touchdowns
fucking
to
crazy,
start off
dude.
the game. I was like, "Whoa, Russ is back, bro!" But then, yeah, like you said, it did slow down a lot, and the Commanders just kept scoring. Like I expected this. I'm a little disappointed in this Broncos defense. I expected them
Oh
to be a
yeah.
lot better. But granted, the Washington does have a few pretty good weapons on this offense, like with Terry and
Mhm.
Jahan Dotson and
And
guys like
Brian
that. So
Robinson's a good running back.
I like Brian Robinson a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they got some guys, and hey, I'll give it to your MVP Sam Howell. Right.
Sam Howell, baby.
He did his thing, man. He looks
he,
tough. Like
he looked good.
I
He
like
looked good.
quarterbacks that stand in the pocket, like no fear. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
you could at least do that, I feel like you could be successful. And he's looking like, you know what I mean? He's giving the Redskins no reason, or I'm sorry, the Commanders. I don't want
Whoa,
to be racist.
whoa, whoa.
Oh, I'm racist. Yeah, my bad. I'm black racist,
Oh,
so I can't be racist. But
okay, buddy.
yeah.
Anyway.
So, but yeah, he's giving them no reason to even think about another quarterback right now.
No, yeah, he's playing good,
He's
man.
playing
He's
very
playing good.
well. So,
And he cleaned
um,
up on the turnovers from week one versus Arizona. Nah,
and
but
so, yeah,
if
2-0, 2-0 for the Commanders. Who would have thought?
I definitely had the Commanders losing just because I thought this was a must-win game for the Broncos. But nah, if you're a Broncos fan, you got to be worried, man.
Yeah, because I think they've played reasonably well on offense the last 2 weeks, and they still lost. So yeah, it's not
I
a good
think
sign.
we might have overrated
And
this
they're in a very
Broncos
tough
defense a
division.
little bit, man, because it's Pat Surtain, Justin Simmons, and the rest is noise, man. Like Randy Gregory looked pretty good coming off the edge, but I mean, they don't have the corners that they used to because they used to have like Darby and I think
Yep.
they had Fuller last year and Kareem Jackson was good, but he's getting older. And then he had that was a pretty cheap hit, man. I'm not gonna lie to Logan Thomas.
Oh yeah, 100%. That
Yeah,
was a cheap hit.
he
Um,
he was a good safety, but I don't know. It's just nah. If you're a Broncos fan, your strength is not your strength anymore, and Russ is not. He's not. One thing for sure. I don't know if Russ is completely washed, like Breeze, Manning washed. You know how they went out sad because he's not that old. But he's not prime Russ when he was dragging those Seahawks teams that had no business being in the playoffs after the LOB like dismantled. He was single handedly winning them 10, 11 games. He was running around making plays. He's not doing that in Denver, man.
yeah, he hasn't done it these last 2 years. It just, like I said last week, I don't think he's an elite quarterback anymore. I still
Yeah,
think he's hovering around that like 12 to 13 range, most likely.
yeah.
I still think he's good, but yeah, it's sad to see. It looks like
Not if you're a
Gino's
Russ
better.
hater like me, my guy.
I, I mean, yeah, I guess it's good for people out there like you, but
I'm a hater.
yeah. So, but yeah, man, let's preview these Monday Night Football games. We got a doubleheader tomorrow, and
Yeah,
let's
okay.
start with your boys in New Orleans. They're going to be flying out to
Carolina.
Carolina to play future MVP, future face of the NFC South, Bryce Young.
That's that's kind of crazy because I don't think Derek Carr's going anywhere, man. My guy Derek Carr. Nah, in all seriousness, I think the Saints. I mean, everyone's 2-0 except the Panthers because they're all
Yeah,
No,
they
yeah,
lost last week.
Bucks and Falcons are both 2-0. But
Yeah,
yeah, Saints got to take care of business, man. This very winnable game. Panthers line not good. They don't have great weapons. J.C. Horn's out. Got to take advantage of that with Chris Olave, Mike Thomas. You have the weapons. Rashid Shaheed, great number three receiver. They gotta go in there and like these past couple of years they haven't been able to win in Carolina for some reason. Whether it was Mike Thomas breaking his toe last year and they were just getting shut out, or the year before Jameis Winston put up an absolute stinker. But they gotta go in there, take care of business, bro. Monday night, everyone's watching. Derek Carr has to, you know, not make any mistakes because their D line's gonna get after it. Our O line's very shaky, especially Penning. But Ryan Ramczyk still one of the better right tackles in the league. As long as they can keep the pressure to a minimum, you just got to get by this week and next week. Then we get Kamara back. Then things get rolling, man. We gotta win this game, man. But I think we win, man. I think our weapons are too much for that secondary that's hobbled, and I just think we're gonna dominate the Panthers' O line. Uh, Marshawn Lattimore, he's gonna cover shit, man. Like these receivers, Adam Thielen, Mingo, DJ Chark. Come on, man. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Kamara doesn't punch anybody in the face when he
This
gets
guy,
back.
respect Kamara, bro. Respect Kamara.
But yeah, obviously he's going to be a good addition when he gets back. But yeah, I see the Saints winning this game.
Yeah.
I think Bryce Young, I think he's going to struggle. O line's not that good, and Cam Jordan, he likes to feast on bad O line. So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what he does with that. But yeah, not a lot to say about it. I think Saints get the W. I think they're the better team, and sneaky competitive NFC South to start off the season. Who would have thought?
I think it's just it's first 2 weeks. We'll see. I think the team
Yeah,
is gonna come dying down within a couple weeks.
yeah. But let's move on to the final game, and that's Browns and Steelers.
Oh man, Browns. They look like absolute. No, Browns. Oh, my mistake. Steelers. They look like absolute dog shit. Week 1.
Week 1. Yep.
Yeah. Browns. They dominated Cincinnati. Dominated in the trenches, and when you have elite O line and D line, you can do that. You can just run the ball with Nick Chubb, and I don't know, man. I think the Browns are gonna go in there and take care of business again. I don't think they're gonna blow out the Steelers just because I don't think the Steelers are gonna get blown out 2 weeks in a row at home. But I just think the Browns are the better roster. I think they have the better quarterback, and I just think they're gonna run the ball down their Steelers' throat, especially with no Cam Hayward. You're gonna be missing him up front.
Yep, that's a big loss.
I think a big loss is Amari Cooper. I think he might be out with like a groin injury, so that's a pretty big loss for Cleveland. But with Elijah Moore and I think his name's Peoples Jones.
Donovan Peoples-Jones, yeah.
Yeah, he's serviceable, and Njoku's a good tight end. You got Nick Chubb, but one of the best running backs, one of the best O lines. I think they just gotta play clean football, limit Steelers possessions, and I think they can get this done.
Yeah, I think the Steelers get this win. They definitely needed a lot more. They're not going to be facing a Niners team with that level of talent on offense like the Niners have. I think it's going to be a close one though. I can see this going either way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, both these teams have good defense in my opinion. Especially the Browns have shown it at least so far this year.
Week 1.
They look fast, athletic, physical, all that. So I think I'm going to predict something like 20-17 Steelers. But yeah, like I said before, I can see it going any other way, man.
Yeah, I just got the Browns. I just trust. I don't know why I don't trust their coaching more. I just trust their talent more. I just trust their offense more, especially because I know Steelers fans aren't fond of Matt Canada, and Najee Harris is kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie, he hasn't been looking that great.
I think he's fine. Najee's had 2 1,000-yard seasons to start off his career. I think he's fine.
I think he's
not great. He's not great, but I think he's fine.
I liked what Kenny Pickett showed in the preseason, and some of what he showed towards last year, like later in the season. But I don't know, he didn't look good versus San Fran, and Browns defense I think it has potential to be a top 5 defense again. Top 5 defense this year. But we'll see. I mean, that's why these games are played. It's the AFC North. All these games are usually pretty close defensive, battles. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with the quarterback I trust more. I trust Deshaun, and I just trust that offensive line.
Yeah. Tomorrow, for me, at least, it's going to make a big impact about how I feel about these two teams moving forward.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, man. I guess that's about it, man.
That's it, man.
Yeah, not much to talk about. Yeah, man. Join us. Was it Wednesday? That's when we do our next show.
Well, we could do a recap tomorrow if you want to.
We're gonna do a post game tomorrow on Monday. So yeah,
just
y'all join us then. And, yeah, it was quick recap after that.